Did you know that Africa is the second largest continent, holding a population of approximately 1.5 billion people? But it is said in such a large number, we still seem to be lagging behind in nearly all the things that we do. But what could be the reason of all this? My audience, join me on this journey as I try to uncover some little things that could be the reasons of who we are today, of who we were yesterday, and of who we could be in the near future, of what our offsprings could be if we do not give ourselves the chance to unlearn and to learn some of the little things that could not make sense to you right now, but could be the reason of what our mindset is today. Hello family, welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to another talk with Leona from Zimbabwe. And maybe I would just not want to end there, but from a fellow African, just sharing. I'm on a journey to share I would want to say maybe lessons that I've learned after moving for my studies to South Korea, but looking back to Africa, looking back to what could be the little things that make us who we are as Africans, that make us to have nearly everything at our reach, yet we are not able to produce the best or the most with what we have. Well, today I'm going to be talking about, I would want to call it the untold gold, or the untold gold, because it's something that is there that people just tend to turn a blind eye over it because they don't want to make us know that we do have this gold to our reach. And just a disclaimer, the gold I'm talking about here is not gold, but it's the resources, the blessings that have been given to Africa as a nation. And all of that. As I said, for a very long time now, Africans we have been made to believe that nothing good comes from Africa, only poverty, only diseases. Even like when I came here to South Korea, when people would ask, oh, where are you from? I would say I'm from Zimbabwe. And the first thing they said was, oh, that country which has the highest inflation. And do you know the mind or the information that they were still basing over is the $1 trillion that happened in 2008. And I'm like, well, I don't blame you, because that's what social media, that's what some people have wanted to paint Africa to be known as. When you look on social media, there are many charitable events happening in Africa, children of starvation being taken, being fed and all that. And it looks like that's the only thing you would find in Africa. Well, there's this beautiful part, which I'm really grateful to some African content creators like Odemaya, who has really taken his time to go around different African countries to show the beauty that is hidden actually by most people, to show the beauty and the enrichment of Africa as a continent. well, and many other African content creators who are emerging, who are doing really a good job, which I'm really grateful. Like Kevin Birioti, yeah, my fellow Zimbabwean, I am really grateful, brother, because what you're doing really does help us as a country and as a continent to open our eyes to the good things that could come out from the African land, that could actually help us to be on another level. So, actually, did you know that Africa on its own could feed the whole world? Did you know that Africa carries 65% of arable land, meaning like good land which is possible to do any activities? 65%. Do you realize this is more than half? That means all these other continents are sharing the remaining 35%, yet us, we hold 65% of this land. Did you know that we have 10% of the planet's internal renewable freshwater sources? Meaning this land and the water, if we put them together and use them to the best ability, we are able to produce the best. But what are we doing currently? I think we are still closed up to the mindset of saying, I am in Africa, so I cannot do anything. I am in Africa, so I am poor. I am in Africa, so I do not have the best job and all that. But do you know that everywhere, it's everywhere, even here, after moving abroad, people work double work so that they are able to make ends meet. So it's all the same. You are in Africa, you also have to work double shifts. You also have to work double jobs so that you're able to make it meet. But today I actually just came to just help us to realize that we do have, I just came for us to realize that we do have as much as we need to be successful. Why? Sometimes, like, let's ask ourselves, why is that we are seeing many white farmers coming back, right, to different parts of Africa? If we talk about Zimbabwe, there are now many white farmers, which it's not even talked about again on the internet, but they are coming to Africa. Why? Because they see the potential that we do not see. Yes, you could talk about capital. There's need for capital, there's need for this, but these are also some of the little things we have not been able to equip ourselves, to give ourselves the education of saving, of raising capital. Sometimes we do have the sources of capital, but we have failed to create what we call generational wealth. Because if I work today, if I'm not able to work the ability that I leave whatever I have worked to my immediate children, that means that my immediate children still have to go back to square zero to start all over again. But if we now start working over how I can leave what I have worked today to my children, and they start carrying over where I have left, and go like that and like that, like that, like that, like that, it's actually like going to start making sense, right? But after us having to realize that we just do have these untold resources abundantly rich in Africa, that we should start seeing, you and I, that we should start being able to use at our best resources. Land. What are we doing with this 65% of arable land? If you visit Zimbabwe, sometimes if you're just driving through, there are some farms that you actually see where there's grass. It's like people are growing weeds just because people are not using that land for the best use. So let's open our eyes, Africa. Let's open our eyes, Zimbabwe. Let's open our eyes, the youth. It's time for us to start looking for money, creating our country, creating generational wealth for our countries, for our children, for those who are yet to come, so that we break this cycle, we break this mindset that has been attached to Africans to make us believe that we are poor, to make us believe that there is nothing that comes good from the African soil, that comes good from the African land, whilst there are plenty things that could come out of the African land. My fellow brothers and sisters, join me on this journey. Let's have a conversation in the comment. Let's have a conversation in the comment section. Let's talk. Let's open our eyes. Let's discuss over how best we can do this, right? It's time for us to claim what is ours in all senses. I believe like we have been given independence, but still we are being held up to many things, especially the things that have been fed in our minds. It's more like this is something that has been clearly structured so that we as Africans, we just remain poor. Because it all starts from the mindset. It all starts from the way we view things. It all starts from us having this ungrateful heart, which I talked about in my last video. If you didn't watch that, please kindly watch it. And yeah, us having ungrateful hearts, us being blinded from seeing what is beautiful right in front of us. These stories that have been told by people who are not even Africans, and they have been able to give these stories so much power that people just wash dirt over Africa as a whole. But it's time for us to claim, to tell our story. It's time for us to claim and to start seeing the good things that are around us. I believe like God is really doing great things in the upcoming years for Africa. But it's going to take us the ability to hold our hands together, to come together, to work together as Africans. Let's stop being our enemies to one another. Let's start working together. Let's start to work towards things that are able to bring future for Africa. And we can only do this if we have one shared vision, one shared goal, and we start putting the needs of our fellow brothers and sisters into our hearts and stop being selfish. Even the way we carry out our jobs, the way we carry out our tasks, let's start being intentional over everything that we do. God is moving in the African continent. Soon, we are going to be able to tell the stories that have been long logged in these scary cages, but yet they carried like these beautiful meanings and these beautiful stories. Let's tell our beautiful African story. Let's be able to tell these untold golds. Let's be able to tell these untold resources that are abundant in Africa. It is only you and I who is able to do that. It's only you and I who is able to change this narrative. But it's going to take a lot. I do not guarantee, I do not tell you that it's going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. But let us remember that those same nations we are admiring, those same nations we look up to from a distance, that's how they just started. when I actually like arrived in South Korea, it's one of the amazing stories I heard about how the South Asian, sorry, how the South Koreans were able to create their economy. It was because they believed in themselves. They worked in themselves. They worked from nothing to this now called the miracle of the Hangul something something something, because to them it was a miracle. But one thing they did was to shut down whatever others said and concentrate over what they had readily available for themselves. And I think that is what we need to start doing as Africa. It's going to be difficult. The journey is going to be difficult, but we all know that we need to try and to try and to try again. If at first we don't succeed, let's keep on trying. Let's keep on putting that energy. Let's keep on working. Let's keep on just moving. I wish we could put the same energy that we put when we go abroad. I have seen many fellow Africans work, some even work like 3 jobs. But I wish we could put the same energy, that same enthusiasm back into our African land. I'm sure we would be able to get just the best results. I know many things would stand in the way, things we have been like complaining over and over, like government and all that. But why not start concentrating over the things we can change? And the other things, I'm sure they will start to change as we go. I really am grateful for you watching till now. And please like, please subscribe, please share with others, and please also comment down in the comment section below. Let's talk, let's have a conversation, and let's create a march towards change of Africa. Till we meet again, goodbye, cheers.